Earlier in the series, I built this tank, and I thought it was pretty good at the time, but that was 7 months ago. Now, I know it could be a lot better. Today, I'm going to update and transform my old M1 Abrams tank design into something actually good, using my 7 additional months of experience and a ton of new mods. I also continue construction on my military airbase and its facilities. Let's get started. I just got good and added opening and closing systems for this that work properly. So we got this right here. Each one has an opening system and a closing system on the inside and the outside. So just like that, we've opened it up, and I can come around here. I can push this, and we're gonna close the doors. And it all just goes in sequence, only one button each time. There we go. People were saying that I should have used the gantry shaft, and that's probably true. I think I had one bad experience or failed experience with the gantry shaft a long time ago, and then kind of have ignored it since then. So I imagine it would have made my life easier if I'd actually known how to use it. But for now, these ones are working, so I'm gonna take a schematic of this. Well, actually the whole thing. And we're gonna go try to get all of the materials for it in survival. It's probably gonna be very expensive. Alright, what do we got here? 9 pages again. It's gonna be a lot of andesite. Oh my. 2,000 iron sheet metal. Nothing hard to get, just lots of a high quantity of some of these things. Let's go investigate what we have. Well, I've got 2,000 iron sheet metal already, but that's not actually enough, so well, I guess I will clean it all out and let it start accumulating a few hundred more. I've secured all the materials I need. It's about 8 chests full, almost exactly. So I'm going to babysit it and assemble it into 2 hangars. I'm gonna try to modify the Stuka slightly just by adding some more controls to try to steer it, and then see if there's something I can do with that. Making these wheels steer on the Stuka should be a pretty simple matter. Let's start by figuring out where I put the transmitter. Oh, right. It's in here. Let's link this again. What channel is it that we have for this? Oh, there we go. Interesting. Here, let's grab this and go here. So if I didn't invert this, here, let's link this again. And let's see what happens. It is inverted. Drat. And we should now just, yep, we can turn that way. So pretty easy, actually. So if I turn on the propeller a little bit, did I make these immobile? I did. There we go. But we have the flap glitch. So I gotta go relog. Hang on. Now let me see if I can turn this around. So here, yeah, look, it's actually really easy to turn, see? If it weren't for that stupid bouncing, but that's just a thing with the wheels. I'm not sure how to not have it do that. Maybe it's technically a glitch, but bouncing aside, let's try to like properly do this. You really don't need to move the propeller very much to start turning. See, we can turn like this. So let me try to follow this landing strip thing. That's pretty cool. I can't reverse, unfortunately. No way to do that. I don't have it set up to reverse the propeller. But, alright, I'm not going to be able to open this either. That means I'm just going to be super stuck here. Because actually following this is impossible because it's too small. I really needed a bigger area. I need more big power poles so that I can transport power all the way to these hangars so that they can actually use their doors and whatnot and power the electric lights. I'm gonna place the first power pole here, and then probably another one right there, a third one before that river, and then one or two more to get it across there. Which means I'll still have some left over, unless I super misjudged it and it's not gonna be long enough, which would be kind of hilarious. I need to make converters and electric motors in order to use the electricity that I'm bringing over. The converters are easy though. The motors are not quite as easy. Of course, I have one steel mechanism remaining, and I'm so tired of making these things. How would I make a semi-automated setup to make them kind of like I did with the precision mechanisms? These are just the steel versions of that. Should be lots of room over here. It just needs 4 deployers. Surely I can sneak something right off of this. Should be quite easy. Where do I keep losing my screwdrivers? I've lost so many of them. Aluminum, screwdriver, screws, and here are the heavy plates. Let's go. So out of a stack, I got 54. And some trash. That's pretty cool. So now I can make 2 electric motors. And I have a bunch of copper cables. That's everything I need. We should be able to go hook up all the wiring now. I'm gonna have to route it into the converter first, make sure it's pushing into it. But it has to then go through a cable hub so that I can grab the other connector. Oh, power actually is being transmitted. Oh, there we go. It is gonna make me redo it. You hate to see it. Here, get rid of that. Come back. Oh yeah, it's working so far. Although it's programmed to work at 64 speed, so it actually missed its cue because it took longer than 4 seconds to open. That's kind of bad. That was kind of absurd. It was probably self-inflicted because I think it was all messed up by that being the wrong rotation initially. And then some things got out of whack, but it works now. We can close it up again. So I'm gonna have to go through and hook up all of the light bulbs. Yeah, I don't think this is going to do much of anything to stop mobs from spawning in here. In fact, spiders are still falling from the ceiling and dying, so that's kind of problematic. But it looks nice. Oh, I see. I guess the gantry carriages could have been used much more effectively than mechanical pistons. Well, shoot, guys. How about we use them for something else, though? I want to add some more stuff to these areas around here. I wanted to add some street lights / power poles that go down here. And I wanted to add a gate and a fence over here. I needed to put a gate like right here, and then maybe some fencing and stuff here without a gate, but we could have it be one of those sliding kind of chain gates that you see, or bar gates at a lot of places. Might be perfect to use a gantry shaft for that. Then I need to fix this area as well so that I can have this road properly connect. And I can drive vehicles around like the tank, which we're then gonna go upgrade into something much better. I don't have these automated because I've never done anything with these before, but we're gonna make one gantry carriage and we're gonna make a bunch of gantry shafts. That's the good thing about having all the precursors automated, even if individual parts aren't. So we're gonna go back. I have no idea what the best way to do this would be, so why don't we put it right here, and we'll put the gantry carriage right there, and then we're just gonna slide it along that to make it leave. So don't you just spin it from over at the end, and then you change the direction, and that changes where the gantry carriage is going? Yeah, that makes it sound like that we can just use a water wheel and we can use a gear shift. Gear shift, water wheel, toggle latch. There we go. So are we moving it? We are very slowly. Right, we might want to increase the speed slightly. That's better. Like, we push that, and there it goes. We push that, back it goes. Awesome. That's quite simple. So let's just build the decorative gate here. Well, that's the decorative part done. So if I just get some glue, and then we glue all of that. Isn't that everything? Isn't that a gate? Yeah. It's a gate. Would you look at that? Entry gate's done, but we need to put in some landing lights here. Out, away, so that you can actually see them. I'm thinking that railway signals, those Nixie tubes, might be the way to go with that. It's really easy to use phantom tracks and then attach these train signal things to it. Then you can just attach these, and then you get like a big white light. Now that looks nice at nighttime. I'm pretty happy with that. I would cover the entire runway like on either side with them, except when you get too far away, they unrender, as you can see. But these torches don't unrender. It looks pretty nice, I think, when it's nighttime. And the one benefit is we do get the light even in distant horizon, so you can still kind of see the whole thing. When I first made the tank, it was a long time ago, like last October. So this is the tank that I made. It's pretty bad. At the time, it seemed pretty good. But now I realize it's quite bad. I've already improved it just by adding a resource pack. Well, 2 resource packs. It is the Steel Tracks resource pack, which I haven't been able to find out, like, officially, publicly, but you can find it on, like, the Tank Tussle Discord, Submarines Discord. And it just makes the tracks look a lot better. And I also got a resource pack that adds sounds for it. So when you drive the tank, it actually sounds like a tank instead of a very, very faint minecart noise, which I think is what it was before. Just ignore the turret. The turret's having some problems. I'm not sure how I detached the turret, but it's actually fine because we kind of need it detached. Either way, let's open up the shop. We're on the copy of the world where I built this stuff. Let's take it inside, add a little work area, turn up the gamma so that we can see something. Perfect, we have full access to the underside of the tank. It's also locked in place. So now let's start modifying this thing. First thing we want to do is reevaluate the size. Is the size still good? Do we want to make it bigger? Do we want to make it smaller? I'll have to look at it, but this engine design might be the only good part about it. Yeah, that's pretty much how it ended up going. The engine design was the only good thing about it. And I moved the engine to the front of the tank now, so that I can put the transmission in the back, so that the front looks better. But the whole thing also got quite a bit shorter, because I went back and looked at the actual length of the Abrams, multiplied it by 1.3, which is what I've been doing with all the vehicles, and it turned out to be about 14 blocks, and that counts the barrel, which extends a couple blocks past the front of it. So it's quite a bit smaller now. Wow, that's a slight problem. It sure is moving in opposite directions, mind you. So we're going to put an inverted gear shift there, and we're going to put an inverted gear shift there. They're both going to be inverted. Here is my little throttle control system so that we can change the speed with the mouse. We can do it gradually. Look, that's all the controls done. That's left turn, right turn, forward, backward, and of course we can change the speed as well. We can even, if we obviously have no throttle, then it won't do anything, regardless of if you're pushing forward. What I need to do now is understand and figure out how to make the turret spin while I have decorative blocks on top of these, so that you don't have to see it. It only needs to be that much, but we gotta make the turret turn over it somehow. Oh, I forgot. Frick, there needs to be a gear shift here because it can only spin in one direction. That was annoying. I used up all the remaining space. We have to turn on the throttle a little bit. Then you can spin it slowly in both directions. And even if you turn the throttle all the way up, it still doesn't spin that fast. But what happens if I grab a slab? Does the world end when this happens? Not right this moment. Here's the exciting part. I actually get to swap out the gun of this with a proper sized one, the medium cannon. I'm trying to determine if I want to drop it down, because I think I could move it back one block, extend it by one, and then rest it on this slab. It's so close. And that's kind of the right height we were looking for as well. Look at the incredible space saving we're doing here, by the way. It's always a good day when Valkyrian Skies updates, an unexpected day as well. We just got a new update and some bugs are fixed. Literally last night while I'm making this video, like it seems like the plane flap glitching bug is no more. I haven't done anything to these. They had their flaps and stuff attached when I logged on. Normally when you start trying to move them around, they would have glitched out, but they have not. They seem to be just fine. We also seem to have the autocannon positioning bug that's fixed, so like you can actually see what you're aiming at now. You're not a million miles away, and the whole camera is positioned much better, so that's nice. And we're about done with the tank actually. It's almost ready to go. Unfortunately, we have lost one feature, which is a hopper feeding into this autocannon. It now is just a creative box. The reason is because we can't really fit a hopper anywhere. I can't fit a hopper right here because it would conflict. It would run into the sides of everything when you were turning it. That's unfortunate. So we have the ammo box. I'm very tempted to add a way to craft a creative ammo box or something. What we really need, we just need like an ender ammo box that just teleports ammo into it continuously. That would be great. Because the normal ammo box holds 16 shots, which is terrible. Here's what we had before. And here's what we've got now. It's certainly an upgrade, although I feel a little bit like I did the thing that LEGO does, where each time they make a new version of a set, it's like a little bit smaller. This applies to Star Wars mainly, where it's smaller than before. It's more detailed, sure, and the building techniques are better, but it's smaller. Probably more expensive, but luckily that's where the analogy stops here, because it is more functional, it looks better, and is not any more expensive than before. Actually, that's probably not true, because all the steel blocks that it's built out of are more expensive than sandstone. So maybe the analogy is more accurate than I thought. This will be available on Patreon. I'm going to be adding this schematic to the existing tank schematic. If you already got it, you'll just be able to get the new schematic. If not, then both of them will be there for you. But anyways, if you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like and that subscribe button down below. But that's all we have for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I've been Sbeev. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.